Narva culture or Eastern Baltic was a European Neolithic archaeological culture found in present-day Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Kaliningrad Oblast, and adjacent portions of Poland and Russia. A successor of the Mesolithic Kunda culture, Narva culture continued up to the start of the Bronze Age. The technology was that of hunter-gatherers. The culture was named after the Narva River in Estonia. Technology and artifacts. The people of the Narva culture had little access to flint. Therefore, they were forced to trade and conserve the flint resources. For example, there were very few flint arrowheads and flint was often reused. The Narva culture relied on local materials. As evidence of trade, researchers found pieces of pink flint from Valdai Hills and plenty of typical Narva pottery in the territory of the Neman culture, while no objects for the Neman culture were found in Narva. Heavy use of bones and horns is one of the main characteristics of the Narva culture. The bone tools, continued from the predecessor Kunda culture, provide the best evidence of continuity of the Narva culture throughout the Neolithic period. The people were buried on the backs with few grave goods. The Narva culture also used and traded amber. A few hundred items were found in Juad Krantek. One of the most famous artifacts is a ceremonial cane carved of horn as a head of female elk found in Sventoji. The people were primarily fishers, hunters, and gatherers. They slowly began adopting husbandry in Middle Neolithic. They were not nomadic and lived in same settlements for long periods, as evidenced by abundant pottery, middens, and structures built in lakes and rivers to help fishing. The pottery shared similarities with comb ceramic culture, but had specific characteristics. One of the most persistent features was mixing clay with other organic matter, most often crushed snail shells. The pottery was made of 6 to -9 centimeters wide clay strips with minimal decorations around the rim. The vessels were wide and large. The height and the width were often the same. The bottoms were pointed or rounded, and only the latest examples have narrow flat bottoms. For mid-Neolithic Narva pottery was influenced and eventually disappeared into the corded ware culture. Historiography and research. For a long time, archaeologists believed that the first inhabitants of the region were Finno-Ugric, who were pushed north by people of the corded ware culture. In 1931, Latvian archaeologist Eduards Sturms was the first to note that artifacts found near Zebras Lake in Latvia were different and possibly belonged to a separate archaeological culture. In early 1950s, settlements on the Narva River were excavated. Lembert Jarnitz and Nina Gurina grouped the findings with similar artifacts from Eastern Baltic region and described the Narva culture. At first it was believed that Narva culture ended with appearance of the corded ware culture. However, newer research extended it up to the Bronze Age. As Narva culture spanned several millenniums and encompassed a large territory, archaeologists attempted to subdivide the culture into regions or periods. For example, in Lithuania, two regions are distinguished: southern and western. There is an academic debate what ethnicity represented the Narva culture: Finno-Ugrians or other Europeids, preceding arrival of the Indo-Europeans. It is also unclear how the Narva culture fits with the arrival of the Indo-Europeans and formation of the Baltic tribes.